Hi, today we're going to look at positively parenting teenagers with God's help, part 2. My name is Grace Bukachi. I serve at CITAM Woodley as the Deputy Senior Pastor, and it's a joy to have you online. Welcome. Last time, we talked about parents of teenagers creating and having a relationship with their teenagers. And perhaps you're a parent, or you're a sibling, or you're a grandmother or a grandfather who's bringing up this teenager, or even a single dad, because there are single dads out there. Allow me to just remind us what we went through last time. We talked about the importance of having a relationship with your teenager. And you know, I don't know whether it's like that in other parts of the world, but in our country, it's amazing that, that we have preteens, like 12s, 11, 12s, really acting like teenagers. And so I'm talking about that spectrum from maybe 11, 12 to 19 or 20. There's some people who are late bloomers. And so just that desire to make sure you have a relationship with them. And then I also encouraged us to listen. Yes, listen to them, even if what they're saying doesn't make sense. But this is an amazing generation, so don't cut them out. In fact, let me encourage us to listen even more clearly and keenly than we've ever done before. So today, I want to use the story in Luke chapter 2 that all of us know of Jesus and his parents. You see, at age 12, he was ready to go into the temple. He was taken by his parents. Luke chapter 2 and verse 43, this is what it says. After the festival was over, while his parents were returning home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but they were unaware of it. Thinking he was in their company, they traveled on for a day. Then they began looking for him among their relatives and friends, and they did not find him. They went back to Jerusalem to look for him, and after 3 days they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you." "Why were you searching for me?" he asked. "Didn't you know I'd be in my father's house?" But they did not understand what he was saying to them. Then he went down to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. But his mother treasured all these things in her heart. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. You see, in this particular story and episode that we're given of Jesus, he's 12. He's been presented in the temple. So he's beginning his teen years. And parents, allow me to remind you that those are absolutely investigative years. So today I just want to ask us, please be the parent, one, that God created you to be. Set parameters, set boundaries, and do it in a discussive way, by God's help. Discuss with them and say, this is the reason why. I know some of our generations, no one ever gave us a reason. But if you notice, this is a generation that has grown up, and every time they think of something, if you say something, their response will be, why? Don't do this. Why? You should not be able to. And why? There's always that why word. So now this is a teenager who has transitioned, if I may use the word metamorphosized, from being this child who adored you and who thought you knew all the answers. And now he's thinking, maybe you don't know all the answers. And the truth is, we don't know all the answers, you know. But with God's help, just as the Lord gave Mary and Joseph that wisdom to take time to go and look for Jesus, your teenager might find strength and joy in particular things, perhaps in being a sports person or in the IT world, whatever field that they are discerning and yearning to learn from. I challenge you to be the parent that builds them up. In my years of bringing up my girls when they were in their teen years, I chose to go out of the way to look for a book that's called Faithfully Parenting Teenagers. And it had an amazing Bible study part, and then a comprehensive part, and then an interactive Bible study part. And some of the questions in this book said this sort of things to me. My teens participate in the following after-school activities, and I had to list the activities that my teenagers at that season were involved in. And all three of them were very sporty, and so they would be in after-school activities, and they could be different ones. Swimming, basketball, football. One was a rugby team captain in her school. But what am I saying? It meant that when they have those activities, I'm actually there for tournaments or matches that Daddy and I would go and cheer them, because even teenagers need you to cheer them. Please be their friend. Don't think they're this funny child. They're your child. First of all, they're grappling with the reality of all these hormonal changes. Perhaps their nose suddenly grew very big, or if they're a girl, they have a zit, a little pimple, and those pimples disturb them like the whole season. Walk with them. Be their friend. And that's why I love the example the Bible gives us, that Mary treasured these things in her heart. She watched over Jesus. I believe, even though we're not told about Jesus' teen years, that she and her husband were there for Jesus. You, my dear friend, you daddy out there, are you there for your teenager? When's the last time you went for their school event? When's the last time you sat down and asked them, or even went on a hike with them? I talk about it when I talk about the little ones, but carry it on even when they're teenagers. I pray that beyond just giving them to the teen and youth churches, to their pastors, that you will take the responsibility of raising your teenager to be the adult that you look forward to having when they're grown up. God bless you. It's been a joy just having this discussion with you. You're welcome to share with us more online on CITAM website, on the web page, on the Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or on Twitter. We'll be glad to interact with you. Thank you to every one of you parents who's told me, please talk a little bit more. And I'm looking forward to having a session with some of our teenagers. I've already mentioned this to them. And so hopefully in the not too long future, we will have a session with them and just interact. And from a mother or a parent's perspective or a daddy's perspective, address what it is and where we're making mistakes as parents of this century and age and generation as we bring up this global digital children. God bless you. Have a great Saturday. It was nice being with you.